Hello and welcome all. In our previous session, we have seen how to write the select queries by using row set extractor and row mapper. Row set extractor and row mapper. Using these interfaces, we have seen how to retrieve the records and how to display them. Okay, and using the anonymous inner classes, we have seen how to retrieve the records. But it was all through Spring Bean configuration file. It's Spring XML Bean configuration file. So it was through XML. So now let's try through the annotations. Okay. So let me remove this. Let me go to the project. Yes, this is my project. Let me rename it. To rename it, I'm going to select Alt Shift and R, and demo. I will say using Spring Annotations. Let me say select. Okay. Let me close unused projects. Okay, I close everything. So I just have this project open. You can see the name of the project is Spring JdbcTemplate demo using the Spring Annotations. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have already added the Spring context and the Spring JDBC along with the driver class. So that's the thing. So I'm using 1.8 Java compiler. So let me close all these things. I have everything set in a right direction, and let me go to source name Java, and this is a Maven project, and you can see. Let me do one thing. Let me create each and every file according in order. So before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use annotations, how to use the Spring JDBC template using the annotations. Then I'm going to create, I'm going to write each and every class in a proper way, in a proper structured, using the MVC architecture, model view and control and all the stuff. I'm going to show that thing. So before that, first of all, let me show you how to use Spring template using annotations. Okay. So this is my main class. You can see here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to remove everything so that I can start right from the basics. So let me remove this. Okay. Also continue. What happened? Okay, now you can see this is my. I don't have any packages, so let me create it. So I'm going to say first of all I'm going to create structure, basic structure for the annotations. Then I'm going to talk about MVC. So first of all, let me create a package. I'm going to create a package with the name A.S.I.F. dot. Okay, I'm going to say create with this. So it's saying it's already present. Where is it? I don't see that. Where is it, man? I don't see that. Okay. Let me right click on it and let me create a container class first. So this is the app and it has a main method because it's a container. I'm going to say okay. It got created in this thing. I don't want that. Wait, it's saying. Let me remove this. Let me create it again. Right click on source in Java and say new. I'm going to say class. Then I'm going to select the correct package. So this is my application and this is the main method. So I can let me select that. So we know that we are using annotations. I'm going to say new anno config. Let me say control space. When I say control space, it's not showing anything. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm showing something. Okay. What happened? Okay, new control space. Okay, now it's showing. annotations config application context, right? Context application context, right? So I'm going to create the object known as the container. So inside this, we already seen that whenever we create container class, we should provide the base package name so that it looks into so that this container looks into the so that it gets to know where all my beans are. So what I'm going to do is I have already created the package with the name com.asif.util. So in this I have created the component scan. So, my application, my container, it's going to come here. It's going to look for the component scan with the package. So it's going to search for the beans in all this package. So com.asif.start. So when you say com.asif, so whatever the packages, it starts with the packages which start with the com.asif. It's going to look into them and search for the beans. Okay. So I've created the component scan. I'm going to provide the same thing there. What is the name of the project? Let me refactor it. Okay, copy this. I'm going to provide the same thing there. Actually, the component scan. Okay, let me import that. So actually, the component scan. Okay, this class should be must and should be. You know, it should have the name, the class. If you look at the class name, it should be the name of the project, so followed by the util. Okay, let's follow that standard. Okay, now we got the container. Then using the container, what I'm going to do is whenever I create the container, it's good practice to close. Okay, I have closed it. What is this other? What typo error? Okay, so I have created the container and closed it. Let me increase the font. Okay, so I have increased the font. So I'm going to say container. I'm going to say container dot get or the alias name. I'm going to say get space get bean of class. So here I'm going to say JDBC template control space dot class class. So I'm going to provide that. Once I get these things, I'm going to get the JDBC template object. So using this JDBC template, the template object, what I'm going to call is I can call update method. So I can call the update method to delete or insert or update the records into the table, or else I can use query. So using the query, I can use result set extractor interface, or I can use, so query is actually used to retrieve the records. So to retrieve the records, I can make use of the two interfaces. One is the result set extractor, other one is the row mapper. So I can use any one of them. Okay, and so they will be in the form of the interfaces. And we know whenever we have the parameter as an interface, we should call anonymous in our classes. Okay, let me save that. Okay, so that's how we can, using this JDBC template, we can call query or we can call the update method. So to do the CRUD operations. But so we have the JDBC template, but have we provided the data source elements like the driver name, URI, username, password, all the stuff of the related things related to the database we are not provided. So, but we should provide them as a data source. Okay, data source is a part of the Java, right? So you need to provide those values to the whom we need to provide those values to the JDBC template of the Spring. Okay, so how to do that? So to do that, the last session what we have done is we have used the Spring Bean configuration file as a beans, but here we are not going to make use of the spring.xml configuration file. So to create the beans, so how we are going to do that? So the only way to do that is by using the factory methods. Okay. Okay, fine. You can use query result text extractor, or you can use JDBC template. So you can use JDBC template dot update. Anyone is fine. Okay. So we are going to do that. So before that, we need to provide data source. To provide a data source, what we need to do is the important point is for the data source we can't auto-wire and directly call it. Let me check that. Okay. So I'm going to go to the com.A.S.I.F to create the factory method for the data source, to create a factory class. So I'm going to say data source util. So this will be common for all, right? So I'm going to say it's not my method. I'm going to finish. So I got the data source util. Once I got the data source util, it's always mandatory for any bean. If it is a bean, if it is related to the part of the Spring, then definitely we must and should make use of the annotation known as @configuration. So all the bean configuration must and should be having the tag known as configuration. So I have added the configuration. Good. Once I add the configuration, so now I need to create the method, right? Okay. Public. So it should public data source. So this is the return type. So I'm going to say data source. Okay. By saying data source, import data source java.sql.this thing. Okay. So now I have imported this thing. So it's asking me to add the return type. So I'm going to return. As of now, let me keep null here. So to provide the data source elements like driver class, URI, username, password are related to the Oracle uh, Oracle driver class name, and URI related to the database, and things like the username and password of the Oracle. We should create the class known as driver manager data source. Let me control space. Yeah, we got the object. So we need to create this object. So now we got the data source, right? Let me name it as data source. So once I get the data source, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call data source dot set. First of all, I'm going to set URL. I'm going to set first of all driver class name. Okay. So then I'm going to set URI. Set URI. So once I set this dot, I'm going to say set username. Oh, okay, this is my username. So once I set the username, I need to set password. So this is the password. So I need to provide all these values to this driver class name, URL, and all those stuff. So let me provide them. I'm going to hard code them. The right way is to make use of the environment, to make use of the property files. But for now, I'm going to hard code the values. The driver class name, can simply Google and find out the driver class names of your database. For the Oracle, it's oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. So for the whereas for the DB2 it will be something else. Okay, and the URL for the DB2 for the Oracle is jdbc dot oracle oracle dot not sorry it's not dot, we should use colon oracle colon thing colon @localhost colon 15521 colon xe. So xe is the database. So this is the URL, and what is the username? So let me check that whether my username is working or not. I will say connect. Your Spring is my username and ABC is my password. Oh, it's working fine. Let me see what are the tables I have. So these are the tables I have. Let me select what are the records I have in this table. Wow, I have a total of 16 records. I'm going to make use of this. So the Spring is my username, and as you have already seen, ABC is my password. Okay, ABC is my password. So what I'm going to do is this: once I get all those values, what I need to return the data source. I have set all these values to the data source. Now I'm returning the data source. Okay. Now we are ready with this thing. So, but this is the factory method. We all know that for the factory method, we must and should have @bean before the method name. So, to make it a Spring Bean, I'm going to add Spring Bean. Okay. So this is my Spring Bean. So what I have done is I've created driver manager data source, and using the driver, using that the object I have created. I have set the values for the driver class name, URL, username, and password. Then I'm returning that data source. Okay, so this is the data source util for the data source. So next we have set the all those things. Now how to we need to establish the connection. We need to let the JDBC template of the Spring know about this data source. So to do that, what we are going to do is I'm going to create one more class with the name new of class. I'm going to create with the name JdbcTemplate util. My name, my user defined name. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to auto-wire the JDBC template. Should I? So what I need to do is, as I need to make use of the data source, first of all, let me create the bean. I'm going to say public. It should return JDBC template. Okay, this is the JDBC template. I'm going to say JDBC template. So this is JDBC template. Why I'm getting this error? Let me place my cursor and import the JDBC template from the all SpringFramework.jdbc.code. We have already added the package, so it is expecting something. Let me add that return statement. So it's expecting some return value. So as of now, I'm going to return null value. So once it is done, let me create the JDBC object. So new of JDBC template. Okay. So let me create the object for it, and let me name it as JDBC template. Using this JDBC template, I need to call set. What is that? I need to set data source. Okay, I need to set a source. So it should not return anything. So this is the data source. So I'm going to set data source. But I don't have the data source. I have the data source here. It's returning this. So I need to. So here I have the object. So this is the returning data source, but I don't have the data source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to auto-wire. So let me place my cursor. Create parameter constant data source local field. Okay, create parameter data source. No, not correct parameter. So what I need to do is I need to use um, I need to auto-wire the data source. Okay, so I need to use auto-wire. So I got the data source element. So this is the data source. Why I'm getting the error here? I think I need to import data source from java.sql, right? So I'm going to import it SQL now. I'm passing the same value here. That's how I'm establishing the connection between JDBC template and data source. Okay. Now what I should return? I should return JDBC. Um, I should return data source, man. Not anything else. I should just return data source. So whenever I call this, why I'm getting this? Okay. My return type is JDBC. Okay, I'm going to return this. Now happy? Happy, right? Okay, right, fine. I'm going to return this. Okay, JDBC template. I'm going to save here. So now whenever, let me go to container. So here my JDBC template node at is now it's aware of the all the data source elements like driver class name, user, driver class name, URL, username and password, and all those stuff. It's aware of it. Okay, all the database name, username and password, and the things related to the driver class and URI. Okay, so now using the JDBC template dot query, you can directly return the records. Let's see how it's going to work. So everything is common from here, but just to show an example, I'm going to try. Okay, fine. Now we have seen how to create the data source, so the data source and all those stuff. But why are we creating? Let me go here, and if you look at this thing, okay, we are getting auto right. So okay, fine. So if you look at this thing, so now we got the JDBC template. So using this JDBC template, we can call the method known as update and all those stuff. So let's try that. Okay, JDBC control space dot. I'm going to use update because this is the easy one. SQL. Okay, what is SQL? I'm going to pass it as let's say that string. Okay, string is equal to string SQL is equal to. I'm going to make use of the. Let me insert the record. Insert into emp underscore table values. First one is number, then next the string, next is the salary. So I'm going to say 2000T, and the name I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to add this name. Let me add the semicolon here. Okay, now I'm trying to insert this thing by using the method known as update. So let me run as Java application. We got some exception. Let's see what is it. This is the important point to be noted. We got some exception. So always exceptions are good for your career because it makes your life easy when you work on projects. Okay, so no qualifying bean of the type. It's saying no qualifying bean of the type. Okay, JDBC template. Okay, available. Anything else? That's it, right? So it's saying that it is not able to find the bean known as JDBC template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the JDBC template. So where is this? This is my JDBC template, right? Let me open that. So this is my JDBC template. So it's not able to identify this as a bean. So first of all, I'm going to add, as I know that every bean should have the configuration. So I'm going to add configuration. Okay, let me add this configuration. I forgot to add this. Okay. So now I added the configuration. So let me go to main class and like run it as Java application. Oh, again we got some exception. Wow, that's a good thing. No such bean definition exception. No qualifying bean of the type. Saying no qualifier of the bean type. JDBC template. Again we got the same error. Why? Okay. So this is my JDBC template. So before your method, what you're doing is you're not adding @bean to make it bean. Okay, let me save it. Import the bean and let me save it. So we go to app.java and run this again. Now this time, I believe it should be success, but we got some exception. Okay, bad SQL grammar exception. Okay, with this not enough values. That's a good one. Bad grammar exception. Okay, fine. SQL callback, bad SQL grammar, insert into table and all these things. So we are passing three values. Good, that's a good thing. What happened? The Java SQL not enough values. So it's saying that we are not passing enough values. Why so? You can go to the table and check what are the columns you have. This E number is one column, name is the other column, salary, gender, address. We have the 5 columns, but we are providing only 3. So that's the reason. So what I'm going to do is let me provide the remaining values. What is that gender? So I'm going to say M and address. I will say some address here. Some address. Now I provided the enough values. Let me save and run it as a Java application. Now let me check my console. Something is going on. Now it got terminated without any issue. That's a good news. Okay. Now it is terminated without any issue. So let me go to, I have 16 records now. I'm going to select, so I got 17 record. So this is the record what we have added, E number, name, this is the salary and this is the gender and this is the address. Okay. So that's about the insert. Similarly, if you want to execute, you need to execute the select query. That is to just retrieve the records. We can make use of the result set extractor or row mapper, any of those things, and we can use the update. We can use the query method to retrieve the records. Okay, that's a thing. So this is the JDBC template. So let's see a few more exceptions. Right now we have seen, we have created simple thing. What I'm going to do is, so this is my application, right? Main class. I will go to, let me open that. Along with this data source, other one is JDBC template. This is the component scan configuration file, which is going to have the base package and all the stuff. Okay. So let's see what all the possible errors we can create. So what all the possible errors we can create. What I'm going to do is here I'm going to return null. Okay, I'm going to do one thing. I'll go to Spring JdbcTemplate.demo. Here I'm going to, so when you remove the base package, let me remove the base package and see what's going to happen. So the thing is, whenever we remove the base package name, automatically it's going to take the current package as a base package. That's important point to be noted. Okay, so when you remove the parameter inside the component scan, that is the base package name. packages as if you don't give it properly, it's going to consider this as a base package, and then start going to execute. So let me save this and try what we are going to get. This is the main method. Let me run it as a Java application. So you should get some exception. Let's see what is that. So the exception is no such beans definitions exception. No qualifying bean of the type JDBC template available. Okay, saying that no qualifying bean of JDBC template available. Okay, fine. Uh, mhm. So that's a mistake we got. Okay, fine. So I'll go here. Okay, I'll come here and I'm going to do one thing. Put back the base package. And I'm going to give complete package. So I'm going to give this as base package. So let me run it again. So again, no such bean definition exception, no qualifying bean of the type JDBC core template available. Okay, fine. I'm going to copy this and paste inside this thing. So let me remove the base package name again. So now it's going to consider this as a base package name. Okay. Let me run it as this thing. Now we should not get any exceptions because all the configuration beans are present here inside the same package. So it's automatically it's going to find out the beans, and we should get no exceptions. So let me check. Okay, now we got 18 records. We have added the same record again. Okay, fine. So why did not even after I don't mention the base package name, why I did not get any exception? It's because all the so when I don't mention the component scan, automatically it's taking this as a base package. So when it's going to search for the beans inside this, it's going to search for the classes present in this package. So all my beans are available in the same package. So it's going to take them and provide it to the container. Okay, that's the reason we have not got received any error. Let me copy this. Let me copy this data source and let me place here inside the com.asif. Okay, fine. I will go to remove this. Okay, remove this. Let me run the Java application. It should terminate because so all the beans are present inside the same entity. So as you can see, it got terminated. So the records got inserted into the table successfully. So as it is present in the same package. So let me copy data source here and let me place it here. So one of my bean, JdbcTemplate bean is present here, other bean is present inside the com.asif package. But here I have not given anything. So it's going to look for my beans inside this package. Let me run it. I should get some exception. It got terminated successfully. Okay, I did not remove this. Let me remove this and try it again. So data source is present in only the com.asif. So I got the exception. Why? Let me read that exception. Cancelling refresh. Okay, exception and code while context initialization. Okay. Error, creating bean with the name JDBC bean with the name JDBC template util. So why is saying JDBC template util? we should get the exception inside the data source, right? But it's showing JDBC template util. Okay, let me read more. It's always good practice to read the complete error. The first one is error creating the bean with the name JDBC template unsatisfied dependency expressed to field data source. Unsatisfied dependency expressed through field data source. Next exception is no such bean or definition. Okay, no qualifying bean of the type. Oh, now we got this exception. See, no such bean or definition, no qualifying bean of the type Java X.SQL available. Okay. Expected at least one bean with a qualifier name as AutoWire candidate dependency annotations. Okay. Otherwise required is equal to true. No qualifying name of the Java source available. Okay, right. So that's a mistake. So what we need to do is we need to go to source and copy it, and you can drag and drop to the util. Okay, not present inside the util. So the Spring dot my component scanner is going to scan this package for the beans. So all my beans are present inside the same package. So now we should not get any exception. So those are the exceptions. Those are the different ways of handling the exception and the possible ways of occurrence of exception. Okay, fine, good. I got the data source, I got the JDBC template and Spring everything. This looks good. Now, but if you look at data source, data source is nothing but where we provide the database related stuff like driver class name, username, ID, username, password, and URI and all those information. So if you look at these things, we are passing all those values, we are hard coding the values. It's always a good practice to use the property files, but here we are not using any property files. Here instead we are directly hard coding the values, which is a very bad practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the property files, and then I'm going to pass that value here, property name here, so that it gets read so that it reads the value from the property file. Let me create the property file. Where we should create the property file? Configuration. Okay, let me create the package with the name configuration. New configuration, right? Okay, new class. So I'm going to name it as db.properties. The package is com.config. Type name must not be specified. Okay, fine. Let me create the package first. So inside it I'm going to create the file. So this is my package com.config. Finish. So inside it I'm going to create the file, new file. I'm going to name it as db.properties. Okay, I'm going to name it as db.properties. So extension should be properties. Okay, I got the db properties. Let me open that. So let me give all the data source the parameters here. So I'm going to say, first of all, I'm going to add the comment. Say so this is the comment line. So then I'm going to say db.driver class name. So I'm going to provide the value here. So what is that value? Its value is oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Okay, and then db.url. So what is that URL? It's jdbc oracle thin @ local host 1521 is the port number, then colon XC. So this is my URL. Next, username, password. Username, sorry, first username. So username is Spring. The password is ABC. Good. We have provided all the values. Okay, it's a spelling mistake. That's none of our business. So we have provided all the values. JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon @localhost 1521. Let's check everything is correct or not. Okay, fine. Everything looks good now. So we have created a property file. Let me go to the data source. So here I need to pass those values here, hard-coded values, those property names here. So for that, I'm going to make use of the thing known as um, I'm going to make use of the annotation. I'm going to make use of the uh, environment interface. So how to use the environment? I'm going to use auto-void private environment. Okay. Okay, I'm going to add semicolon. So environment is from the Spring Core environment. Okay. Auto-void. So what I'm going to say is auto-void. It's auto-void. Let me add the environment from the Spring Framework. Auto-void. So I got the annotation from auto-void annotation from the Spring Beans. Then I got the environment variable from the Spring Core. So using this, so environment. Now, if I say auto-void of environment, so what is environment? Environment is an interface. Okay. So when I get the property of the interface, so the environment is going to read. So environment can read both the system related properties as well as the properties, user defined properties. Okay. So now if I give only this, it's going to read only system properties. What is system properties? The name of my computer, the processor, name of the processor, and other all those details. It can read all the values. If you can try to print the environment variable, you can see many different methods you will find out. Okay, so but our main intention is to read the property files, not the system related stuff. So our intention is to read this file. So to read this file, what we need to do is we need to add one more annotation known as @property scan. Property source. Okay, property source. Here in the property source, provide the value. So what is the value I need to provide here? I need to provide the value. I need to provide the property name, complete property name. Okay. So let me right click on it, say copy qualified name, and let me paste it there. So I don't want Spring, source, main, Java, and all this stuff is required, not required, man. Okay, so I'm going to remove all these things. Source main java.com. This I'm going to select from the. Okay, I'm going to remove this. So I'm going to say class path of. So this is my class path. So it's going to it need to read the properties from here. So I got the environment variables. So using this environment variable, what I'm going to see is I'm going to read the values. dot get property key comma and all those things. Let me use string of key. So I know the key for this series driver class name db dot driver class name. Okay, that's the important thing. So I'm going to go there and paste it there. For this one, for the URL, I need to use dot get property of this is, I don't know the property name, so this is db URL. Okay, so this is the db URL. I'm going to paste that. Okay, it should be in double quotes. Similarly, get property of db dot username dot password. So I need to add inside the double quote. Okay, good man. So now this is a good way to read the values from the property files instead of hard coding. Okay, so I have not hard coded. I am reading the directly values from the property file. So let me go to app.java. Let me run again the same query. See whether it is running in the right way or not. We got some exception. Okay, so exception. Let me go right. Error creating bean with the name JdbcTemplate unsatisfied dependency expression through data source. Next exception is this. Error creating bean with the name data source defined with the class path resource. Okay, data source util instantiation through factory method failed. Next exception is this, failed to create instantiate SQL threaded data source. Factory data source to exception. Next exception is this thing. Okay, property drivers must be empty. It is empty. It is taking, okay, property driver class name is taking as empty. Why it's taking as empty? Let me go to property files. See, driver class name db.driver class name, whether I'm giving it the right name or not. db. See, you can see, and I have gave the wrong name. So that's the reason why I got this exception saying that the property driver class must not be empty. So it's taking it as empty because I have given the wrong name. I should, the correct name is db.driver class name. So you can see in the db properties, see, this is the db, this is the key name, and this is the value. So it should do correctly. So let me save it and go to main class and run it again. Run it as a Java application. This time it should be successful without any issue. Okay, it's successful without any issue. I also want to talk about one more thing. Let me say that I want to show you one exception, most famous exception, and I believe the most of you might have gone, most of the working people might have definitely gone through this one. So let's say that I'm going to remove this prefix db. I'm going to say username. Now my username is Spring and the password is this thing. So you can give any username, right? Any user defined name. It's up to me. Okay, I'm going to save this. So I need to change it in the data source as well, right? So I'm going to change the username according to property file name. So the same thing is present here. So I'm giving the same key here, same key in the data source. Okay. So let me go to main class and run it again. Check whether it's working fine or not. Yeah, I got a very big exception. Invalid username or password. Why, man? Why? We gave the correct value, right? Invalid username or login denied. Why? The reason is, if you go to property files, so here the username key. So the key value what we provide is a it's a predefined keyword of this system. It's a predefined system of your system, so of my system, so of my Windows system. So it's taking the environment variable of your system, not your property file. It's not, first of all, it's not reading. It's taking the username of your system, not the property file. So let me check that. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to data source. So I'm going to place my pointer here and go to app.java and right click on it, say run it as debug as Java application. Okay, now it started the debugging. Okay, fine. Now my cursor is here. So let me press F6. When I press F6, it should read that value, read that line, and go to the next line. Yeah, it has read this line. Now it has come to the second line. I'm a pointer to the second line. So I can read the values. So what it's getting? Okay. 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 Let me read. Let me press F6 again. So now it has come to this line. So now it should read username. Let me press F6. So now it has read username. So let me place my cursor there. So environment standard environment property, default property resources name is equal to system properties. System property name is equal to this thing. Okay, it has read this line. So what it's getting? You can see the value here. You can place your cursor at the data source, okay, and see the value. So these are the values. So if you look at the values, so this is the username it's reading. It has already read this key, URL, right? And it should have already read the driver class name. Okay. So this is the URL and this is the password it has read. So the username, it's taking it as asifpasha.shake. That's my name of my system. That's the name of my system. If you go to this PC and okay, I'll go to this PC, right click on it and say more, and then I will say properties. You can see here name of my system. Here is my system name. So it is printing my system name. So it's reading the system username. So with this we got to know that. So let me also read the password. Okay, I'm going to press F6. Okay, so let me place my cursor at the data source and see the password is ABC. Okay, it's reading the password as ABC without any problem. But whereas the username is asifpasha.shake, it's reading my system username. See users, the C drive. Let me go to users, so you can see. So this is my username asifpasha.shake. So it's taking that as a username. So we should So with this, we got to know that in the properties file, we should not take the predefined class names. It's always good to add some prefixes like db.username and db.properties, db.url, db.driver class name. It's always good to add these prefixes so that you don't we don't get confused with the system predefined names and the properties uh, user defined names. Okay, so let me go to data source and modify the username as db.username, otherwise it's going to read the system username. Okay, now it should work fine without any problem. Okay, so that's about the proper way of what we got from exception. Why this data source I used username, password, everything looks good, right? Then why got the exception? Invalid username, logon denied. Invalid username, logon denied. Login, logon denied. Okay, invalid username. Okay, I'll go to properties. Spring is correct. ABC is also correct. Let me go to JDBC db.username, db.username. Everything looks good to me. Then why got exception? Let me close this. Okay. Again run it as Java application. Okay. So it was in debug mode. That's the reason we got the error. Okay. So let me go to app.java. We should not get any exceptions. See, I'm watching it console. So if you can see, it got terminated successfully. So there are no issues. So this is the good and clean code. That's all for now. Thank you.